The Amazon rainforest covers millions of square kilometers. It operates as an entire biological world. When we think of this environment, we picture the species we have already successfully cataloged. We know what a jaguar looks like. But somewhere beneath the leaves, under the soil, and deep inside tree trunks, there are millions of organisms hiding completely out of sight. What we treat as a finished scientific catalog is actually a map dominated by enormous blank spaces. Scientists are actively filling in those spaces. During one period of research, the rate of discovery was astonishing, yielding one new species every 2 days. WWF data shows thousands of new species documented between 1999 and 2009, and hundreds more added through 2015. With a pace like that, you might assume we can calculate exactly how many species are left, but anyone giving you a highly specific number of undiscovered organisms is giving you false precision. Predicting a total number of species usually requires reaching a saturation point, a stage where new samples finally stop turning up new results. But because Amazonian research efforts continue to find unique organisms even in small areas, the statistical models used to estimate a final census cannot converge on a reliable, stable figure. Searching for a large land mammal like a jaguar is difficult, but it requires food, territory, and a visible footprint. Now try finding a tiny beetle living 6 meters above the ground, or a microscopic organism buried several meters deep. This graphic illustrates a massive gap in our knowledge. When sampling certain areas of the Amazon biome, reports indicate that up to 90% of the biodiversity may remain completely unidentified. Take the soil, for instance. Even a tiny sample of Amazonian dirt contains an astonishing variety of complex, undocumented microbial and fungal networks. You cannot simply photograph a microorganism to prove it exists. You have to extract it, sequence its DNA, and conduct years of comparative taxonomic analysis. Giant hidden monsters capture our imagination, but the true mystery is the millions of tiny organisms we blindly walk past every day. The aquatic landscape is as dynamic as the land itself. Amazonian rivers are constantly shifting systems, carving new paths and reconfiguring the forest through seasonal flooding and sediment movement. As these rivers shift, isolated tributaries become biological islands. A single population of fish might become trapped and separated from the main river for millions of years. Trapped in that isolated pocket, genetic differences accumulate over generations. Given enough time, that cut-off population diverges into an entirely new species. This geographic isolation means thousands of distinct populations remain trapped in remote tributaries, separated from the rest of the world and virtually untouched by scientific sampling. Even when researchers do manage to document a single new animal, like this frog, the discovery rarely stops there. That host organism can carry unknown gut fungi, specific parasites, or microscopic life that spends its entire life inside it. This creates a mathematical multiplier effect. Finding one new plant or insect effectively guarantees the existence of several undocumented microorganisms attached to it. This interdependence means that the Amazonian species count is self-multiplying. Every new animal we find brings an entire interconnected web of unknown organisms into play. But there is a dark reality to this impossible census. An organism does not need to be discovered in order to go extinct. The Amazon biome is facing rapid, large-scale habitat loss. The environment is altering at a pace that often outruns exploration. Because many of these unknown populations are highly specialized to tiny areas, an entire species can be wiped out before anyone collects a DNA sample. These vanishings leave behind nothing but an empty ecological space. They disappear entirely, never leaving a trace in human history. The Amazon functions as an immense library filled with millions of unread biological stories. Every expedition into that library pulls down a new book, forcing scientists to rethink the rules of biology based on what they find inside. The most profound question we face isn't whether the forest still holds secrets. It is the sheer, unknowable magnitude of how many are left. Because the most extraordinary species in the Amazon is likely the one humanity hasn't discovered yet.